Hey everyone, welcome back. For anyone who's new here, I'm Maki, and I basically just read you guys Reddit stories while I fail at building things in Minecraft. Welcome to the chaos. I've got some pretty interesting stories lined up for today, so if you're trying to unwind, maybe get some studying done, or just need something on in the background that isn't, too distracting, you're in the right place. I'm going to be attempting to work on a little project here, so feel free to get comfortable and just kinda let the stories guide you. We have a good amount to get through today, so hopefully it helps you relax and just zone out for a while. Alright, let's get into it. The first story is from the subreddit r/AmIOverreacting. It reads, "Am I overreacting? GF put Viagra in my drink without telling me. This happened a while ago, but it still deeply bothers me. I've talked to a handful of my friends about it, and their response is, 'Dude, you must be gay,' or 'You lucky dog, what's the problem?' So for context, my now ex-girlfriend and I are both law enforcement for the same department. I work nights, she works days, so our schedules are kinda hectic sometimes. She came to my apartment one night, and when I got home, she put a boba tea in my hand and told me to drink it. I'm not a fan of boba, so I told her thank you, that was sweet, but I'd rather have something else. She acted really disappointed and was being very adamant that I should drink it. I didn't want to make her feel bad since I thought she was just trying to do something nice for me, so I took a few sips and set it down. She picked it up off the counter, put it back in my hand and said, 'You need to drink all of it.' I told her fine, so we went to lay down and watch a movie where I set the cup on my nightstand and didn't touch it again. We ended up having sex a few times, and at some point I got up and went to my kitchen to grab a drink. When I opened my trash can to throw something away, I saw a medication blister pack sitting on top of the garbage. At first I didn't think anything of it, but then I remembered how adamant she was about me finishing that drink, and everything started to click. I picked it up, and sure enough, it was a Viagra packaging. I immediately got this overwhelming feeling of being violated. I didn't know what to say, and I was honestly pretty hurt. So, not wanting to let my immediate emotions lead me into saying something I would regret, I held my tongue and went to bed. The next day, she texted me saying I seemed off, and I decided to confront her by asking about the drink. She initially denied it all, but when I sent her a picture of the wrapper, she just responded with the kiss emoji, as if it was some cute romantic act. It turned into a huge argument because she just couldn't comprehend why this was bothering me so much, saying it's basically just vitamins, and that she originally got the idea from an episode of Bob's Burgers. But what finally sent me over the edge was the text above, where she thought that I was mad because I was emasculated, and that her and her roommate, who is also a police officer, came up with the whole plan while I was at work because I had told her how busy my day was and how I couldn't wait to just lay down. And since she was worried I'd be too tired to have sex, her roommate's boyfriend gave her the pill. I tried to further explain my point by trying to reverse it, and explain that if I had done something similar to her, and she reported it to PSU, Professional Standards, which is just another way of saying internal affairs, I would have been fired and most likely arrested. Her response was basically just saying, well, I would never report it, which I took as her beginning to get scared and trying to convince me not to. Our relationship ended soon after, when on a trip to Peru, a doctor used a guinea pig to absorb negative energy from her before sacrificing it to rid her of the negativity. And apparently the doctor told her the guinea pig said that I was a source of negativity in her life, so she broke up with me. I wish I was making this up, but that's a story for another post. Anyhow, am I overreacting for letting this turn into such a big problem, or was she genuinely just trying to make a romantic gesture? OP of this post has also attached a chat between him and his girlfriend. I'm just putting that up on the screen. You don't understand how much I feel. I am very empathetic. Even when I don't agree with your point of view, I understand it. I know you felt emasculated and hurt. I put something in your drink. That was wrong of me. Even if it wasn't vitamins, I should have not done it. I honestly cave in, was talking to about seeing you that day and how tired you were probably going to be, and her boyfriend overheard. And long story short, they gave me that package, they told me to crush it and put it on your drink, and I did. It's okay. I forgive you for valuing sex more than my feelings that night. I didn't value sex more than your feelings. You didn't drink it, and we had sex a couple times, and I stopped initiating sex. No, that's exactly what you did. The fact that I didn't drink it is irrelevant. You have absolutely no idea how fucked that was and are just now apologizing for it? If I had done that to you and you went to PSU, I'd be fired and in jail right now. I would have never gone to PSU. Okay, no, just no. This is not overreacting. This is a massive, massive red flag. She put something in your drink without telling you. That's a huge violation of trust, especially coming from another cop who knows better. Her saying it's basically vitamins and getting the idea from Bob's Burgers? That's not an excuse. That's just showing how little she gets it. And your friends telling you you're lucky? Nah, man, that's not it. Honestly, the guinea pig thing in Peru? That's just the universe telling you that you dodged a cannonball, not a bullet. You're not overreacting. Your feelings are 100% valid. Glad you're out of that. Alright, a quick update about the game. I'm just gonna try and dig down here for a sec. Gotta find some lava. They say it's easier to find the deeper you go, so let's see what happens. Let's read something else. Okay, here's the next story. This one's interesting. It is from the subreddit r/bestofredditorupdates. It reads, I learned the real reason my ex left me. Posting because I really don't know how to feel about this, and I just needed to get it off my chest. Sorry for the long post. There's a lot to unpack. Backstory first. So around 2 years ago, my ex-fiancé, who I'd been in a relationship with for almost 10 years, unceremoniously just left me. It never fully made sense to me as there were no warning signs, we were actively planning our wedding and finally agreed to try for a baby, as we were both in our 30s and time was ticking. Then one day, he just started acting sort of off. Wasn't saying I love you before he left for work for the day, was spending more time out drinking with his friends than he was at home. He'd been struggling with his mental health since COVID lockdowns, so I assumed he was having a bit of a downward spiral. So I sat down with him one day and just asked him if everything was okay with him. He tried to brush it off initially and kept saying he was fine, so I changed the question and asked if we were okay. He looked like he really didn't want to answer, so I asked again. He paused, and in that moment, I knew it was over. I asked if he still loved me. He said he loved me but wasn't in love with me anymore. And that was it. Within a week, he had moved out, leaving 90% of his belongings to be collected at a later date and to serve as a constant reminder that he was just gone. To say it hit me hard was an understatement. I spiraled massively. I was at the lowest point I had ever been in my life, so I tried to end it all. It just hurt too much feeling like there was something so wrong with me that he had to just leave. Fortunately, a friend managed to get me to a hospital before I did any serious damage to myself, and while I still felt awful about myself most of the time, it got a little easier. I ended up dating that friend a few months later. A lot of people said it was too soon to move on, but honestly, I never set out to have another relationship at all. But his constant support, presence, and reassurance that there was nothing wrong with me made me want to spend time with those who truly gave a shit about me. And in time, we developed feelings for each other. We had a beautiful relationship filled with love and laughter, and much to our surprise, I ended up pregnant 9 months into our relationship. We decided to keep the baby even though our relationship was still in its early stages, and 9 months later, our beautiful daughter was born. We are still as strong as ever today and continuing to build an amazing life together as a family. Now on to present day. I guess my ex has been reflecting on the past recently, due to a lot of deaths in his family, and his mother, who I'm still close with today, reached out to me to ask whether I'd be willing to meet up with him, as he had something to get off his chest. She didn't know what he wanted to talk to me about, as it was something he could only discuss with me, but she would understand if I said no. I decided to think about it for a few days before I agreed that I would meet up with him at a local coffee shop. I got there early because, you know, Mama needs her caffeine fix with these early morning wake-ups and night feeds. I was already sat down when he came in, and he gave me the saddest looking smile while I merely just nodded to him and motioned for him to sit down and get out whatever he needed to tell me. I was a little bit speechless at what he had to say. He said that when we started trying for a baby and nothing was happening, even though we were closely tracking my ovulation cycle and testing every day for that sweet spot, he realized something wasn't right. So he secretly took a day off work to see a fertility doctor. They found that due to an undiagnosed issue in one of his testicles, the likelihood of him ever being able to conceive a biological child of his own was incredibly low. He knew that I loved him so deeply that I would have given up my dream of having children just for him, and he said he couldn't live with that on his conscience, that I deserved to have the life and family I'd always wanted, only with someone else. He kept apologizing profusely for hurting me so much in the process, but tried to rationalize that I had got what I'd wanted in the end, so his plan ultimately worked. I ultimately sat there silent for a few minutes and just looked him dead in the eyes and said that that was never his decision to make. He took away my choice and nearly destroyed me in the process, and I got up and left. It's been a few days and I'm still processing. My partner knew I was meeting up with my ex and he knows something is up but is giving me space until I feel ready to talk about it. But honestly, I'm shook. Like, did my ex honestly think I'd be like, okay, thanks for letting me know and then we'd all be friends again? Update. So of course I plan to leave this situation alone at this point and completely put it behind me. However, my former mother-in-law reached out to me as I hadn't spoken to her in a few days, which is quite unlike me. A few people said in a few comments that I should cut her off as well as the ex. But this woman was like a mother to me for almost 10 years. When I was going through difficulties with my own family, this woman opened her home to me and gave me a safe place to stay if I needed. She had been more of a parent to me than my own parents, and basically adopted me as the daughter that she had always wanted. So when I say we are incredibly close, I genuinely mean it. Regardless of anything that's happened with her son, we have a really strong relationship outside of that. We typically have a good catch-up once a week and messages in between. Nothing I say to her gets passed on to her son. From what I can gather, the trickles of information he gets is through the grapevine of the group of friends we mutually share. So when she reached out to see if I was okay yesterday, I decided I'd pop over and catch up with her. Turns out he came clean to her when she asked exactly what had gone on, as she hadn't heard from me in a few days and she was worried. She went absolutely ballistic at him, and currently is not speaking to him at all. Then she told me something I did not know, and something she assumed I'd known all along. It turns out that when he was born, he had undescended testicles. He had the surgery to correct it, but there was always going to be the chance that he would have fertility issues in adulthood. He was meant to go for checkups once he passed puberty age to see whether there was any lasting damage, and he claimed to his mother that he had gone to these and everything was fine. But neither of us actually believed this. So the entire time we discussed having children, he knew there was a possibility that all he was shooting was blanks, but neglected to actually let me know this for 10 freaking years. Bear in mind, we were probably having unprotected sex for 2 years of our relationship. Not actively trying, but we had agreed that if something happened, we'd be happy about it. So I think when we were actively trying to have a baby and nothing was happening, it sort of gave him the mental tip-off that all was not well, and he finally decided to get that checkup he'd been putting off. I'm flabbergasted, guys. In regard to my partner and I's relationship, we are absolutely fine. He's used to my sulky episodes, haha. I did eventually fill him in after a few days of being mildly annoyed, and he agreed that it was super fucked up and agreed with a lot of the comments that his timing for telling me all this was absolutely comical. We did suspect for a while that the real reason he decided to leave was cheating initially, because he'd gotten strangely close to one of the girls in our friend group, the majority of which dropped me like hot shit once we split. Turns out there's nothing going on there. But another little tidbit off my ex's mom that she found out also, guys, he's dating this girl's 60-year-old mother. Good lord, his life is a dumpster fire. I don't even think I'm mad anymore, just mildly amused. Absolutely done with that. Update 2. I so badly wanted to be over and done with all of this, and I honestly wasn't expecting to have anything else to say on the matter, despite the fact that I've had people messaging me for updates. Sorry for any mistakes. It's late and I'm running off about 3 hours sleep. Life has been peaceful and had returned to its pre-drama state, and I'd pretty much shoved everything to the back of my head. Because in all honesty, while the revelation might have shocked and temporarily upset me, I just decided to compartmentalize and move on. So as it turns out, thank you random Redditor who messaged me for an update. My BORU post got viral on TikTok, and the TikTok video manages to land itself on one of mine and my ex's mutual friends' FYP. The video circulates through the friend group as they are speculating as to whether it's about me and the ex or not, because there are a lot of similarities, and before I know it, I'm getting Facebook messages off a fake profile demanding I remove the post or make another post saying that everything was fake, that I owe him one. I've since had to deactivate my Facebook because every time I blocked an account, another would pop up to message me again. Jacob, I know you're reading this, you are not some big f***ing hero that made my life what it is today. My life is what it is because I put in the work to get myself in a better place after you fucked me up. And you're still trying to fuck me up. But I'm finally at that point where I see you for what you are, a manipulative narcissist. You are not some grand arbiter of fate. What happened, happened, and you only have yourself to blame for the fact that your life went to shit. Go and get some therapy and get over this shit like I did. And stop trying to message my family. Wow, that is a roller coaster. 10 years of silence about something so fundamental he decided your fate without you ever knowing. And then timing it to leave you utterly blindsided? That's a gut punch. But look at you now. A loving partner, a new life, a happy family. You didn't need his permission or his broken plans to find joy. And he is dating a 60-year-old mother? Dude's entire life is a dumpster fire. No wonder he ran. Alright, let's leave that drama in the rear view and get back to some Minecraft. So if you're wondering why I'm being so stingy with the torches right now, it's because I am, completely running out. I really should have planned this better, but the whole plan right now is just to find a big lava pool. I need to get like 10 buckets of the stuff before it gets pitch black in here. Because all this fumbling around in the dark trying not to die is so I can finally build a proper nether portal back at the base. So moving on to the next story, this one is from the subreddit r/wedding drama. It reads, Maid of Honor ghosted 10 days before the wedding and then posted this on Instagram. So I'm a bridesmaid in my friend Tara's wedding next weekend, and everything was going pretty smoothly until last Thursday. The Maid of Honor, Jess, suddenly stopped responding to messages in the group chat. Tara had asked her to confirm her speech and arrival time for the rehearsal dinner. Nothing crazy or last minute, and Jess just disappeared. No response, no call, no email. Her read receipts were on, so we know she saw the messages. By Sunday, Tara was freaking out. Jess had the bride's veil, she picked it up from the seamstress, and Tara didn't have a backup. We all thought maybe there was an emergency or something serious going on, so we gave her space. Then Monday night, Jess posts on Instagram. She's at a cabin in the mountains. Yoga pose. Disconnecting from drama and reconnecting with myself was the caption. A few of us commented like, hey, are you okay? And she deleted the comments. The kicker? She's in the cabin with a guy she swore she broke up with months ago. The same guy who hit on Tara at her own engagement party and caused a huge scene. Tara ended up asking me to do the MOH speech, and I'm honored, but I'm also just baffled at how someone could ghost their best friend's wedding a week before and then flex about it like it's some self-care moment. No one's heard from Jess since. She hasn't even returned the veil. Ghosting a bride 10 days before her wedding? That's next level entitled. And she ditches with the veil? No backup? That's a catastrophe waiting to happen. You stepping up to give the MOH speech is amazing. Tara's lucky to have you. Jess, she's reaping what she sowed. Let her retreat. Your friend needs real support, and that's exactly what you're giving. Alright. Enough about that. Let's get back to the next story. This one is from the subreddit Am I the Asshole? It says, Am I the asshole? I made my daughter, 11, cry during D&D. Even though everything turned out okay, my wife is still mad. Background. I have been running a 3-year D&D game for my daughter, 11. I play all other characters, including her party members of 5. Started out their adventure as petty thieves, but are now heroes, all with their own character growth over time. Her character learned early that her character was the target of a dark god that had severed her soul from her body. Important context. She and her band of reformed heroes have spent many sessions thwarting a hag. Finally, the hag kidnaps a young girl who is friends with the party. We start our D&D session last night, and my wife is present in the room. I narrate the events in her game. The party finds what they think is the hag lair and is prepared for an epic fight to save the child. only to find the lair abandoned with the girl in a magical prison and a letter from the hag. The letter indicates that the magical trap will soon kill the girl and that she, my daughter's character, must choose her sorrow. The girl will be freed on the condition that 2 of her companions are sacrificed or her life alone to be sacrificed. They attempt a variety of methods to try to break the trap. Her companions range from efforts to break it to resignation to be the one to sacrifice. These are characters I have been playing for my daughter for years, and she has grown to love them. My daughter starts quietly sobbing as she realizes there isn't anything her character can do. My wife sees and hears all of this. I let her 11 feel the range of emotions as she is in what seems to be an impossible situation. I tell her that while she does have companions that said they were willing, she could decide that this is where her character's story ends, in a heroic sacrifice. She starts sobbing. This would mean a permanent end to a 3-year story. I ask her if she wants to take a break to think. She nods and goes to her room. My wife then, clearly upset, tells me that I should not have done this, and to present her with a solution that doesn't have consequences. I didn't want to cheapen the gravity of the story. I go to my daughter's room and ask how she is. Tearfully, she says she knows what she will do. We start the game again, and she announces in character that she couldn't live with herself if she let her friends die, and touches the hag device that will kill her. I change the music to an ethereal soundtrack, and narrate her seeing herself as if outside her body, and the sacrifice she was willing to make, restores her shattered soul with such magnitude and force that it breaks the hag's trap, and that her character felt an overwhelming sense of wholeness as her soul heals with this act of sacrifice. I see my daughter's visible shock, relief, and then joy as I narrate the captured girl released, and her own life and soul intact, having broken the hag's magic. She jumps from her chair and hugs me, sobbing. I'm crying too. I'm not sure my wife has forgiven me though. She is really mad I put our daughter through this. Am I the asshole?
Honestly, you're not the asshole here.
I get where the wife is coming from, you know? It's tough seeing your kid cry, but I think she's missing the point here. This dad is a master storyteller. He didn't just give his daughter a problem. He gave her a choice, and that's what makes a story good. Of course she cried. These are characters she's loved for 3 years. That's investment. That's a sign he's doing it right. But that ending, her sacrifice healing her own shattered soul, that's beautiful. That's a core memory right there. You're not the asshole, dude. You gave your daughter an incredible gift, a story that mattered.
Man, that was actually really sweet. Makes me wanna, I don't know, go fight a dragon or something. Alright, let's find a new spot to mine. On to the next one. This is from the subreddit r/best-of-redditor-updates. It reads, HOA insists my sister and I are not a single-family household and one of us should move out. We've lived here all our lives. I'm 21 and my sister is 19. We've lived in this house our entire lives. Our parents bought this house 27 years ago. They joined the HOA about 15 years ago. My dad died 5 years ago. Mom died 6 months ago. We are now the owners of this house. We've been visited by the HOA multiple times. They're citing that we're not a single-family home anymore since our mom has died. They've told us that according to the terms, only a single family can be resident in the homes, and being single family is defined as a person or couple and their legal unmarried children. This meant that my mom could live with me and my sister, as it was a single family according to the definition. But me and my sister living here after our mom's death means we are 2 families of single adults. They want one of us to move out so that this place becomes a single family home again. They've visited us 4 times now asking us to leave. They say they don't like to sue out of respect for our parents, but they will do that if we continue to refuse to comply by the community rules. Can they kick one of us out of our own house? What should we expect and how can we fight this? Edit. Location is Washington State. Update. So I first confirmed that they are from the HOA, not just some people harassing us for the fun of it. We also got the CC and R of the HOA, which included a clause about single family and its weird definition. If included partners, children, grandchildren, parents, grandparents, step-parents, stepchildren, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, children of uncles and aunts, children of nieces and nephews, but no siblings. It even had a clause that said co-owners are not allowed to live there unless they are a single family based on the definition. We also received a letter from them telling us of our violation and demanding us to comply. So my sister and I went around the neighborhood and gave copies of the terms and the letter we received to everyone, and told them, imagine you died tomorrow. Do you want them to kick out your kids? Because they're doing it to us. They will do it to your kids as well. Help us stop them. We gathered signatures and had almost everyone contact the president and demand that this should stop. Within 2 weeks, we received the letter that says this has been a mistake with an apology. We learned that this HOA is horrible to everyone, not just us. So there are now people preparing to run for the HOA board to replace the current members, and they're promising to have a referendum about whether the HOA should be dissolved or not, because it really is doing nothing of substance except being a pain in the butt of everyone.
An HOA is trying to kick two sisters out of their own house, the house they grew up in, because their mom died? Are you serious? And the definition of single family is just... It includes second cousins twice removed, but not siblings? That's not a rule, that's a power trip. But here's the best part. They didn't just roll over. They took the HOA's own stupid letter and showed it to the whole neighborhood. Genius move. And what happens? The HOA immediately backpedals. Oh, that was just a mistake. Yeah, a mistake you got caught making. Alright, that's all the Minecraft and Reddit stories I've got for you today. Some of those stories today were a lot. Anyway, I don't really have anything else going on today, so I'm probably just gonna work on the next video. Listen, I'm not even gonna ask you to subscribe, because I know if you've watched this far into one of my videos, you probably already have. You wouldn't do that to me, right? Okay, fine. I'm getting worried about retention now. Subscribe. Bye.